Welcome back to my series. I'll be guiding you today on how to cross-check your setup once it's properly done. And I'll be also guiding you how to create your staff roles and how you can import your customer base from WBA to WBL, right? So from Wired Banking, basically from Wired Banking Africa to Wired Banking Lite, I'll be guiding you on how to move your data, right? So come with me in. I'll be cross-checking the setup we've done so far on Wired Banking Lite, if it actually match all the requirements and so on, right? So the first thing to do is to click on any menu, right? So ensure you click on any menu, right? And if it actually brings you to the appropriate menu you are expecting to be redirected to, the rest assured that your setup is actually successful. But if you are being redirected to general settings or you are being redirected to staff or to branch management, this simply means that that place are yet to be satisfied or are yet to be set up, right? So I'll be creating rules, right? I'll be guiding you on how to create rules. I'll also be guiding you on how to import your data from WBA into the Wba Lite. Okay, so to do that, the first thing you do is to go to your WBA, right? So when you come here, you search for customer management, right? You search for customer management. So you see all customer, go ahead and click all customers. Okay, so you just be patient for a while for the process to load, right? So on it's done, we have a button here that says load all. So ensure you click on it, right? So you just give it a few seconds to process everything, right? So just be patient enough. So it's still processing, so be a little patient with the processing time. Okay, so once that is fully completed, the next thing you need to do is to export your data, right? You need to export your data from Wired Banking Africa to Wired Banking Lite, right? So I'll be importing my data from there. So we have a button here that says export. So all you need to do is to hit on the export and the file will be downloaded, right? Okay, so we have another option here. If you are unable or if the download do not have all your data, it's possible that all your data are not captured on the export. So all you need to do is to refresh, So once you refresh, you have another option here. If you look at here, so we have option A at the top where you have the green button is export. But if it is covered that all the data are not being exported, all you just need to do is to refresh. So once you refresh, we have other option here, right? So we have the copy, we have CSV, we have PDF and so on. So what you want to do right now is to click on the CSV. I prefer the CSV format, right? So though CSV or Excel should work, right? But I prefer the CSV. So I just do the hit on CSV and I have my file, right? So I have my CSV file. So then the next thing I need to do is to go back to Wired Banking, also go back to customer management. So I'll be seeing import Wba account. So all you just need to do is to hit on import Wba account. And I'll be given this option. So all I just need to do is to drag the file I downloaded, go ahead and paste it. I'm also able to click on it, go find it and search it. But I just prefer drag and drop, right? It's quite easier for me. So I just do drag and drop. But the both options, either drag and drop or the select by all works, right? So it's possible for you to want to maintain the existing account number you've actually issued to your customer, right? So if you want to if you want to maintain same account number, so we have option A here that say upload default account number, right? So we have the option B, say create new virtual account for non-virtual account. So this simply means that any of those accounts that are not virtual on the previous wired bank, you are able to register them as virtual right now, right? So the people on the virtual still maintain their account, but it's also possible to say, okay, I just want to maintain my account the way they are exactly. I don't want to update them. I don't want to change anything, right? So you just leave it on default. So default simply means that the account will remain the way they are, right? So all this function would apply, right? So the next thing you do is to select the account type you want to import this into, right? So I'll recommend you, if you have different packages or different account type, all you need to do once you export your data, you split them, you separate them and upload them by badges, right? Because what this does for you is to change all the account to one product. But if you have diverse products or different products and you want to maintain that same route, we recommend you to split it on Excel, right? I always open your CSV or Excel sheet and split it and import it such way. Then the next thing you need to do, all the account that you want to upload, who do you want to assign them to, right? So you go ahead and select the branch you want to assign them to, right? So go ahead and select the staff from that particular branch, okay? So once this is completed, set up, right? Next, you just to do is to hit on the yellow button and say import. So just give you a few seconds, irrespective of you might actually have a lot of accounts, so that will take time. So I've actually I've imported the account already, so I won't be allowed to import. And another thing is I have my, based on my plan, my maximum number of staffs. I think I'm on test plan, so my maximum number of staff that is allowed, which is about 15, it's exhausted. So I can't be able to import more until I activate my account or upgrade my account. So if you encounter these issues, all you just need to do is to upgrade your account from the next plan. All right. So if you're on the test mode, all you need to do is to upgrade to the live mode, right? So once you do that, you have access to upload your customers. So for the meantime, this is how you can use to upload your data. So all the data you've uploaded, the next thing, okay, you do not need to start approving them one after the other. What the system does for you is to approve all of them at once, because it's, you may have 100 and won't start clicking one after the other. So once all the account that's been imported, all of them are activated automatically. But the only one that will have to pass through pending is the one that you have to manually create, which is after you have to come to customer management and click on and create an account. So these are the ones that require you to approve first before you'll be able to transact on the account. But all of the accounts which we have imported so far, all of them can be found in savings management, right? So you just come to savings management and you have all your accounts that you've imported so far, right? So all your accounts that you imported will be on the savings management. So this is how the way you can import your data from Wired Banking Africa to Wired Banking Lite. Okay, so we just be proceeding hence from here. Okay, you may likely want to be giving your staff different rules. So on the previous one, banking, we do not allow you to create rules, but we're glad based on the improvement we had so far, you're able to create your rules or department based on your business. So it's possible for now to have customer care. It's also possible to have brand manager. It's possible to have a legal thing. It's possible to have ICT. So whatever features or options you want them to have access to, you have the opportunity to do all that right now, right? So the next thing I want to do is to click on the yellow button, which is the rule. So I'll just go ahead and do, probably I want to create a customer care. So I just say the rule of this is customer care, right? So what do I want the customer care to be able to do, right? So I want the customer care to be able to basically I want them to be able to manage account. Okay, so I want customer care looking for manage account. I want you to be able to activate account first. If account is dormant, I want you to have access to reactivate them, right? So I want you to be able to issue ATM card, customer care. I want you to be able to view statement of an account. I want you to be able to reverse transaction. So I can pick as many options that I want, right? What I want them to do. But the amazing part of it, they don't have to see the whole menu. It's only so right now that I actually give only 4 menus, only 4 options, or only 4 menus that will be displayed or shown to the staff. So all I just need to do is to click on update. So I can't update this anymore because I've actually created this, right? It should show error. So the next thing I do is to cancel here, then come to the view path, then click. So it's already been added to me here. So I'll just click on the view path in case you can go ahead and pick as many I want. In the future, I can decide to say, okay, I want the customer care to have access to create an account, but they cannot be able to create or delete a customer, right? So you can actually give them different rules, different permissions. So whichever role or permission you give to them, you are able to switch your staff. Like I will just go back to my staff management, then manage staff. So I have an account here. Okay, I'll just go ahead and change this account. So we have our customer care, the role of this staff. I want to change it back to the customer care. So once I change it back to the customer care, okay. So once I change it to customer care and update, what the system automatically does is this particular staff role has automatically changed. So he does not have access to the previous one. Initially, he was on the staff permission, but right now I've downgraded or upgraded into the customer care. This simply means they only have access to the customer care functionality of it. So this is how to migrate. This is how to create roles and assign it to your staff, right? It's also possible if your staff want to leave for work. I do not recommend you to start deleting that particular staff, right? That's actually wrong. So what I recommend you to do is to come here, click on edit. The first thing you do is to click on disactivate status, then update, right? So the first thing you do is to deactivate the account of the particular staff, right? Disactivate it, right? When you now have a replacement of staff, you have a new staff you want to employ or you want to bring to service, all I recommend you to do also is to do change of name. It does not do anything. So instead of creating a new account, it's just do change of name. So what the change of name simply do, it affect all the accounts that manage all your staff. So this simply means that the new staff automatically take charge of the previous staff customers and they are able to manage, right? So this is how you can actually use to assign a new staff, or if the staff has been sacked or resigned, you're able to deactivate this account. Then when you have the new one, after all the changes of the username, the email, right? So you just change the first, the last name, the username, the email, the phone number, then go ahead, select your update status. If it's possible you want to give the new staff another different role, you can go ahead and select the new role you want to give your staff, right? So once you select all that, right? So what they disactivate, why I recommend you to deactivate on your staff list. So this simply means that once it's been deactivated, that particular staff won't be able to log in or perform, and won't even be able to log in, talk less about performing a transaction, right? But what happens is if you actually leave them active, they're able to perform transactions. So that's why we actually recommend you to always disable as your staff sack themselves, or you sack them, or whatever case it is, they no longer work with the organization. The only thing we recommend you to do is to deactivate. And when you have a new staff, deactivate and not to delete, please, right? So once you have a new staff, the thing you need to do is to change the information of the previous one and return it back to update, right? So on the password part, right, for security purpose, for what we'll try to do right now, the new staff receive his password. So all you need to do is to click on send reset OTP. So pin rather, he receive a new pin for his transaction. He will also receive a new password for his transaction. So this is more of like an entire processes that allow you to translate from one staff to another, right? So this is how to manage your staff role and how to change your staff from, right? So we have some amazing tools. So we have the payroll. So we've talked about manage staff, we've talked about roles. So we have the manage role. So basically what the manage role simply help you do is to allow you set up your staff salary, right? You may no longer want to pay or start transferring to your staff manually one after the other. How much is your salary, or take cash and so on. But the amazing part of this right now, right? You're able to set off your staff payrolls, right? So you're able to detect, is it a permanent staff, a full-time staff, a part-time staff, right? So how much do you want to pay the staff, or how much do you intend to be paying the staff, right? So you're able to let the system know, or does the staff have house allowance? If no allowance, if any allowance applies, so you just go ahead and apply it. Probably, let's say the staff is entitled to 10,000 naira salary, and probably have an allowance or transport support, whatever it is, of 8,000 naira or even 2,000 naira per month. Okay, so do you want to actually debit or deduct any form of tax, prevent deduction, pension, um, unpaid leave, loan deduction, whatever, if the staff actually have all that, or if your organization supports tax 6, all you need to do is to enter the tax amount. Probably the tax amount can be probably 3,000 naira per month. So as they collect their salary, so they have the 3,000 naira per month, right? So this is how you can actually use to set up your payroll. So at the summary below, so you now see, okay, the net salary of this particular the gross salary right now, rather the gross salary, which is the total of his actual salary and the allowance. So the actual salary was about 10,000 naira. So the allowance was 2,000 naira, which make the gross salary of 12,000, right? But he has a deduction here about on the tax, right? I think, yeah, on the tax or levy, whatever one the organization wants to. It's actually optional. You can actually place it on 0. But if that applies, so just go ahead and put. So what happened right now? Now, so gross salary minus the total deduction, which is the tax. So it will now give you how much the staff is expected to be paid per month, right? So this is what the staff will be paid by month, 9,000 naira. It would simply mean the organization is saving for him 3,000 naira, right? Okay, so we have the automated format. Do you want the system to automatically pay the staff? Right? So you can still go ahead and select whichever banks that works for you, right? I'll just I do with Opay, so I'll just do okay. So once you enter the staff account number, it return back the staff name, right? So do you want the staff to be paid automatically? If yes, if no, then go ahead and put yes. But you normally recommended to put yes, and hence you want the system to pay the staff every month. Then go ahead and click on save changes. So what this does for you is at the end of the month, right? So you can now see setup is now completed for this particular stuff. So at the end of the month, remember you set payment dates here. So at the end of the month, so if you set this as the payment date, what will happen is every seventh end of the month, the system automatically go ahead and pay your staff, right? So this is how you're going to do. So if you now say it's 5th of the month, it's 6th of the month, whatever that works for me there, what the system does for you now, exactly that time of the following month, the system go ahead and pay your staff. So this is how to actually check the payroll, right? So you want to check the payroll log. You want to see how much the system paid them, how much has been deducted. So everything will be listed here for you, right? So right below here, you're going to see the history of the transaction that has occurred or that happened, right? So you're going to see the date of the payment, the staff, the gross, the deduction, right? The paid amount, the recording, the slip of payment, right? And it's possible to actually specify to fetch all the transaction of your staff, right? So be able to keep a track of the total funds you've paid them, or the total money you've paid them on salary for the entire period of time they've worked with you, right? So we have the vault management, which is more of the new features which we are deploying on the wired banking system, which allow you to create a different vault where your XMS charges will be routed or will be going, right? So if you charge people for XMS, where will the XMS go, right? You have a wallet, which is more of like your XMS vault where the XMS. So the system create as many vaults for you. You have your XMS wallet, you have your registration fee wallet, a vault rather, you have your withdrawal vault. At the end of the day, you can now see the total history of your total earnings, right? You are able to now say, okay, the total earning, I want to now offer it as a loan. You can now transfer it probably from your board to your staff, or from your board to your company board, where you'll be able to disburse it as a loan, or we're able to keep it as a scrap. You're also able to create a manual vault which allow you to probably can now say probably you have a store, you can now say this one is a store vault, right? So this simply means anytime there is money entry on it. So what the system does for you is to allow you to credit your vault over and over. So this is how to actually manage your vault, right? So that in the process of accounting, everything will be made known and clear to you. So that's the essence of all these automated processes, which we actually put in place for for your for your use, right? So I'll be ending this video because of the time, where I return back and go to savings management and e-banking, how to fund your account and so on, right? So stay tuned.